In this match, it's me, Affinity. Actually, my name is Thomas, but me piloting Affinity versus a Bant Vizier Combo variant. It's pretty interesting.
Go to 17 to play to get a Temple Garden for a bird.
Fetch shock right out of the gate for birds. I'm not sure how often I see that play. Probably more often than I realize that I just don't notice. But it seems steep. I'll say that. I don't have a much better start for myself. Just default Scourge is B-, C+ at best. But woo boy, double signal best. That is pretty powerful. And this is kind of one of the more fair hands. Like turn 1, 1 mana, turn 2, 2 mana. There are games when I have 3 mana on turn 1. So even at this level of fairness, this game's still looking pretty good.
There are things that I can do. We will lose 1 for the Horizon Canopy to play Knight of the Reliquary.
An early Knight of the Reliquary.
Interesting. And there's 1 land in your graveyard right now, so it's a 3/3.
So that's a cool variant on the Vizier combo, to include the Knight of the Reliquary combo as well.
Let's see.
The more combos, the better. I mean, in for a penny, in for a pound, I figure. So I do see that Galvanic Blast in my hand. With 1 land in the graveyard, his Knight of the Reliquary is currently a 3/3. So I believe I'm going to blast it here. It seems logical to kill it before it gets past 4 toughness.
Yep. I have my flyer tapped, so I'm at 10.
10 and 3 of its lifelink.
Yeah, 5 damage, 3 of its lifelink. Those double signal pests are putting in work like I thought they would. So Arcbound and Galvanic Blast. I have to say, this game is going quite well. If only all my games could go like this. I'm all too familiar with what it feels like to be on the receiving end of your opponent just drawing the nuts. So I feel for my opponent here, but it doesn't happen to me very often, as in I'm not the one who draws the nuts very often.
Crack and shock.
I see. So I got you
Get
at 7.
Breeding Pool.
Yeah, another fetch shock to go from 10 to 7. Again, it seems kind of drastic. But you gotta do what you gotta do. I guess the alternative was to tap the birds, but he wanted to leave up a flying blocker for fear of my presenting lethal.
Yeah, just 1 turn.
It's not like it's a battlefield. Right. Until you board next turn.
And it'll be your go from there.
Yeah, Reflector Mage is a sweet card. It achieved popularity with humans, but not just Reflector Mage, but a few cards that have achieved popularity with humans. I've started to see them around the format. Meddling Mage people are tinking with, not just the Reflector Mage, but also Meddling Mage.
It's not Amber, that's right. Yeah, that's good.
I will plus him.
Yep.
So let's reveal the top 2. Put 1 in my hand.
So it's an Ornithopter and a Spire of Industry. Naturally, he wants me to have the Spire. So I usually plus Karn right out of the gate, because there's so much Jeskai and so much burn in my meta, that if I don't plus him and take him to 6, if I instead minus him and take him to 3, he's just going to get lightning bolted and go straight to the graveyard. So it's kind of a habit of plussing him. It may actually have been right to have minused him in this case, since I'm not playing against a red deck, and get that construct.
So if you just top deck that whenever
I'm in a good spot already, but if I had a construct, star would equal 1, 2, 3, 4, plus itself 5, depending on if I animated manlands or not. If I did, it would be a 7/7. So that definitely would be helpful here. More helpful than a land.
You could surprise me with that kind of thing. So.
Right. Fast turn.
So what are my opponent's outs here?
There is a Selfless Spirit.
Well, that's a damn good card, Selfless Spirit.
We'll have to pass back.
Gotcha.
It's better with more creatures to give indestructible to. It's a flying blocker though.
Land per turn. Blink Moth.
I think he just kind of has to have a removal spell.
Oh, one more time. Let's make 19.
Without the cranial plating, just only having the Arcbound, I actually have to commit and like sack everything and go for it. So if his one mana, if his Horizon Canopy means Path to Exile, just with the big stack of counters, the final move onto the creature, he'll just path whatever creature I target. In which case I would just lose.
Okay.
Sack my whole board just to get pathed. It's happened to me enough to where I don't even think I'm willing to risk it.
Sorry about that.
But I don't exactly remember how this plays out. We'll see.
Activate the Blink Moth.
Yep.
Yeah.
Go to combat.
Activate Blink Moth. I want as many flying attackers as I can.
Okay, you have the one blocker. And then...
That Vault Scourge just came in. So
Summoning sick. Sorry, pal.
Yeah, whatever I do, or whatever you...
So as it's declared, it's a base power 1/1 Blink Moth that's getting 2 triggers, and then the Signal Pests are triggering each other 1 time. So 5 as it's declared. Almost lethal right there. But yeah, he indeed did not have the path. So that was a pretty good showing for Affinity in Game 1. Not all my hands are going to be like that. I wish they could. But wow, look at this, Deja Vu. Windswept Heath into Shock for a Birds of Paradise.
What's the other option? I guess it could be a Hallowed Fountain.
Breeding Pool.
That's right, gotcha. Yeah, not Hallowed Fountain, it's a green.
Yeah,
Okay.
but we'll pass after that.
Gotcha.
I love that art for Birds of Paradise, honestly. That's pretty sweet. The 7th edition is really good too. Those are my 2 favorite arts. So what am I up to? Oh boy. Oh boy, looks like a lot of cards.
A lot of cards. Let's see to follow it up with good stuff. Right?
So, at one point I had the opportunity to play a 2-drop, and instead I went Signal Pest, Vault Scourge. Usually playing a 2-drop on turn 1 is ideal, I just must not have one in my hand.
Another bird and we'll pass.
Gotcha.
Like, instead of those 2 creatures, if that had been a Steel Overseer, and then this turn play those 2 creatures, activate Steel Overseer, like, that's just so much better. So I must not have had one. Let's see, it looks like a Mountain and Edge Champion. Okay. I never had 3 mana, so I understand why I didn't play him. Because I couldn't.
I think we're just going to Path Signal Pest.
Interesting reaction. So with Edge Champion on the stack, he's going to Path to Exile my Signal Pest. If I had one more Ornithopter, or just one more creature in general, I would understand. I guess I do have 2 man lands. Okay, so that does kind of make sense.
Yes.
If I activate all my man lands, that's 1 extra point infect, and then 1, 2, 3, 4 extra points of damage each turn. So that probably actually was the right choice.
So this my only attacks in that case.
Take 1 in the air, life link it up.
16, 19. That's turn.
So that was a really flashy start, and I'm in a good spot. But I need to follow it up with some good top decks. I just have a Mountain in hand. So unless this board state is going to win the game for me, I need to start drawing some good cards. And I need to start drawing them soon.
We'll pass back for now.
Gotcha. Tap, keep, draw, stab.
At the current moment, it is only...
I need to get better at showing the camera what I draw. Looked like a blue card. The only blue cards in my deck. Oh no, it's just the artwork. I can see now. Edge Champion. There's only 2 Edge Champions on my main board, so it's kind of... Whenever I see both in a game, I guess that's not that unlikely, but I always think, huh, there they both are.
Sure. Gotcha, 13. One of it is gained, so I'm at 20. Second main phase.
Lifelink. The Vault Scourge is doing his job. He's brought me back up from 18 to 20.
That's what I was waiting for.
Oh, Spell Queller. That card is so good.
Good call.
It's either gonna, I would remember...
The 2/3 flyer for 3 is decent. In Modern, I guess it's not very good, but add Flash to it, and then add that insane ability. Like, exile target spell. So, even spells that say they're uncounterable. Thrune, or Immercool, anything that says it's uncounterable, you can exile it while it's on the stack with Spell Queller, which is just insane. And I talked right over the Quasali Pride page. That is really bad for me. He can't target my Arch Champion, but he can,
Yep. That
he
resolves.
can certainly target that cranial plating. I'm not sure why I played it directly into that Pride Mage. He's not likely to chump block with the Pride Mage, although I may have been able to force his hand and make him use it on the Vault Scourge. Maybe? I'm not sure.
Yes, just the champion.
Gotta make him use it on something. Maybe just playing it as soon as I drew it was right. And it opens up the rest of my top decks as actually being viable.
Got you at 11. My heart. Last turn.
Well,
He was sitting right in front of
2
me.
damage at a time. I'm kinda getting there.
About that.
I would really have liked to keep that cranial plating and just close out this game in a timely manner.
Play Knight of the Reliquary.
It's unfortunate that he's at an odd total for a life total. It's like, it's only 1 point of damage, but that's a whole nother turn. So instead of a 5-turn clock, nice and clean, it's a 6-turn clock, which is unfortunate. That's if nothing changes, which hopefully something changes.
Solid.
Ink Moth. I mean, my opponent's right. That is still solid, but it's not what I exactly wanted. I think an Arcbound Ravager would have been great. Cranial plating, obviously. Anything to make my Edge Champion get in for like 5 and then 5 again, all at once.
Uh-oh.
There's a Stony Silence.
Yeah.
Oh. Oh, excuse me while I take a second. I have to walk this one off. Oh geez, Stony Silence. It's backbreaking on turn 2.
So now I don't
Almost
have that
always.
ratings anymore.
It's not usually so bad this late in the game. What does it turn off? Mox Opal and Springleaf Drum, so it really doesn't affect my board that much. But it turns off my top decks that I was hoping for.
God, I'm gonna be risking this.
This is a really great game.
We'll go blue, generic, white,
Okay.
Reflector Mage.
Oh,
and
another
we'll
Reflector
bounce back
Mage.
to Vault Scourge.
That poor Vault Scourge.
Enter combat?
Nobody likes him. He just can't stick around for longer than a few turns before being sent back to my hand.
Activate.
Alright.
What am I doing here? So I think this is one of the more questionable plays of this entire match.
Spawns Ghost Quarter the Nexus.
And that's what I forgot about. I forgot about the Ghost Quarter. That is his most threatening blocker, honestly, for all my manlands, and my manlands are a big part of my game right now. So I thought, since I just top decked another Inkmoth Nexus, that I could activate it, pump it, and put 2 -1/-1 counters on the Spell Queller, making it a 0/1, in which case it's no scarier than a Birds of Paradise in terms of blocking.
The foresight is lacking with this one. Turns out that wasn't a good play.
So my heart was in the right place. I mean, let me know if you think that's the right play in the comments below.
And
I have a feeling it wasn't, and that most of you will agree that it was not, but let me know.
Smart.
Oh, that's what I forgot to do.
I should have swung with my Blink Moth too.
And I should have activated the knife on my end step. Or on your end
We're
step.
both doing it, man.
Yeah, I should have swung with my Blink Moth last turn. That's what we're exchanging here, my opponent and I. The things that we should have done last turn. For me, it was to activate my Blink Moth and swing, because he was actually tapped down with all of his flyers for once. And on his side, he was wishing that he had activated Knight of the Reliquary at my end step.
Seems good.
So,
I will take it.
at least we're both doing it. If one of us is going to make a silly misplay, the other one making another silly misplay right afterwards kind of like takes this thing out a little bit.
1, 2, 3, 4. Card.
Hey, Karn. So he's actually a 2-of in my deck, but I just don't draw him very much. So I'm always really pleased when I see him, especially in a stalled board state like this.
I'm gonna do what I usually do. I'm gonna plus him right out of the gate.
So I mentioned this earlier, but I have a bad habit of plussing him, and I'm almost certain that it was wrong in this case. If I had minused him to make a creature,
You know about both.
I really think I'd be in a lot better shape.
Now the cranial.
It's like, the tables haven't turned yet. He's at 7, I am at 16. It still looks good,
Yes.
but I'm just not getting there quickly enough, doing 2 damage at a time. Like, a lot can happen in 4 turns. I still need 4 more turns of just swinging 2 damage at a time.
That's kind of scary, man.
And having a really large construct, like a 7/7,
That wasn't right.
that's wishful thinking. But like a 4/4 or a 5/5, that'd be really good.
I'm taking 2.
Impasse.
End step. Flow 1. Let's flow with the
He's not going to forget this time. So here comes the Knight of the Reliquary play.
Yep.
Sacrifice the forest or plains and go search up a land.
What I'm going to do is get
See which one he chooses. Gavany Township. Oh my goodness. What an impactful
with
card.
The white mana that I floated off here, add a +1 counter to all my creatures.
Yep. Before sacrificing the Temple Garden, he floated a mana. And so that's how he's able to afford the Gavany Township. God, I was hoping to turn that Spokeweller into a bird, and now the birds are getting better. They're 1/2s. Yeah, this is bad. See, a lot can happen in 3 or 4 turns, and that's official. Like, I wish I had a construct, but that's how you learn.
Like, if I don't have come up with an answer for the Etched Champion, this is really bad.
I mean, I have plenty of outs. Galvblast? I don't see any in my graveyard. I haven't seen one this game.
I definitely don't feel confident
So,
about
I've seen quite a few cards of my deck to have seen no Galvblast. The odds are pretty good at drawing one.
Half the Ornithopter before I declare tax.
That's bad. Am I just dead?
Not quite. That is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8.
I'm wondering if I'm just dead here. So I'm having my opponent count it all out.
I'm short 2.
And the total is 14. So I'm not quite dead, thankfully. But because he can't kill me in one swing, I assume he's going to swing at Karn here. Yeah, the knight himself, who is plenty big to kill Karn, is swinging at Karn. And then Spokeweller and Reflector Mage at face.
So we'll just send those 2 at you, and then this is at Karn.
Kill Karn, and I take 6.
God, what a waste of Karn.
Yep. Bye-bye, my sweet prince.
I'll quit bringing it up, but boy, oh boy, do I wish I made a construct.
Technically has a silver counter.
I don't draw him very often. I don't actually get a chance to play with him very often. I think I learned a lot in this game about how to best play Karn, and I plan on playing him a little better in the future.
And I didn't even move my life total. I took 6.
Yeah.
Which pushed me to 10.
Well, it's officially bad. I assume if I drew the blast, I would have used it.
Ancient Grudge. Well, not Ancient Grudge.
Full Scourge.
The wear and tear.
So, 1 flying blocker, 1 blocker on the ground. Well, I do have my man lands. So if I swing and take him to 3, and then I'll have only 2 blockers because I can't activate with my Mox. Mox is dead. So I blocked the 2 strongest things, the Knight, and I think the Spellqueller with a counter. Then I would take 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, okay. All that math goes out the window for Galactic Company, though.
It is 2
Jeez Louise. Yeah, any 2 creatures really does it. I had like execs. I could barely survive if I used all my blockers just to jump. So that's no good.
With a Pride Mage in my yard at the moment, which may be enough to buy me a turn, maybe.
And Scavenging Ooze has gas. There's plenty of creatures in the graveyard. There's at least 1 creature. He has a Quasali Pride Mage in his graveyard. So even if he just gains 1 life, that's enough to make my life difficult.
Let's officially declare tax.
I don't know why I'm playing it out. That's at least 8. Block the big boy, and then I still take. I feel like I could have played that tighter. I definitely had the upper hand, and I had a really explosive start, but somehow I still lost. And not even to the combo. I just got like nickeled and dimed, so I could have done that much more efficiently. I have a feeling. Not nearly as good as game 2. Oh well, it's quickly getting better. Cranial plating with double Dark Seal Citadel. Like, I'm so vulnerable to Stony Silence or Kataki. Either of those cards on turn 2, and I basically just lose. But it's a really powerful start, and if I can just manage to avoid Stony Silence, I think I'm good. Moment of truth. Is he gonna play a White Source and a Stony Silence? Oh no. Whew. That was some scary stuff. It always makes my heart drop when they have the mana that they would need to cast Stony Silence, and then they go to cast the 2-drop, and it's like, oh no, please no.
So, whip. Yep.
Yeah.
Cast another one.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. I was agreeing with the equip. I was thinking, yeah. And I did not see that other cranial plating coming.
And a 6/1. Totally.
So it's gone from I'm really vulnerable to a Stony Silence to like he absolutely needs one to not die.
So I'm just taking a 6.
I'm okay with that trade. Skews can really be a pain sometimes. So if I'm just gonna get him right out of the way by trading with a Mimnite, that's fine.
I guess now we play the Kessig and pass back.
Kessig? Red? I haven't seen red at all. This is a really interesting deck. It's got Knight of the Reliquary and Korahum combo, and then it also has, of course, the Vizier and Devoted Druid. Unfortunately, I don't think my opponent's had the best draws, and he hasn't actually got the combo off.
Yep.
Declare attackers.
But he's still giving me a run for my money.
Skullcrawler and pray you don't have a Gale Blast.
Yeah, I knew he had something. If he's not playing something on his turn, he's gonna play something on my turn.
So trades.
Thank God.
Yeah.
Second main phase. 1, 2, blue. Master.
That's
Interesting.
I can deal with that.
I would prefer 3 1-drops at this particular juncture. But wouldn't we all? No, he's a great creature. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Currently a 6/6.
Knight currently sitting as
There's his blocker.
3/3.
Gotcha.
And we will pass back.
Well, we'll see what I draw. We're kind of going tit for tat. I keep presenting lethal and he keeps having a block. But, it looked like a Signal Pest. I may have been mistaken.
6, so 6 plus 6, 12.
Yeah, there's no need to equip both. I'm presenting lethal by just attaching one. And I get to leave up more resources for second main phase.
We'll practice at
Trixie. This always like makes me worried. Okay, it's just a tapped land, so no worry. Whenever my opponent cracks a fetch, like in response to blocks, I always assume there's some trick, something at instant speed, or just some Trixie nonsense.
Yeah, that's the thing.
Black. Bolt Scourge.
Oh boy.
That makes it. That's all of it.
Well, it's official. I think I have enough attackers and enough cranial platings where one of them's already equipped even, so even a Stony Silence I don't think would save him. It would have to be Stony Silence and a sweet blocker. Yeah, he's been really consistently drawing his knights this entire match. I must consider myself lucky that he hasn't been drawing his combo pieces that consistently. His other combo pieces, rather.
Maybe that was unwise. Be a little hasty, but it's alright. Swing with the team.
Yeah, so I think I made a mistake here. The correct play was to attach the second cranial plating to one of the other creatures' first main phase. If you're playing around removal, you want to put it on the least valuable creature, which on this board state I think is Signal Pest. So I should have equipped a Signal Pest first main phase, and I would have just been that much scarier. Presented that much of a more difficult problem for my opponent.
That's what I was sitting on.
But what? Ouch. Yeah, 2 lands. More lands on top. He had a path not too long from now, but he didn't have it right then. That's what mattered. But I had a really great time playing this match. Whenever I get paired up with this particular gentleman, I always have a good time. And this matchup historically, Affinity versus just, let's say, Vizier Combo in general, it really goes either way. Like, I have my really fast starts and I can win quickly, but Viziers here, if they just have 1 or 2 of the combo pieces in their hand, and then get lucky off of Coco, it's like, well, they got it, no problem. So it's really just whoever draws their best cards sooner. Whoever draws their best cards more quickly. Well, until next time, guys. I'll see you later.